Throwaway account, because this mess is hotter than sidewalk gum in July, and I need distance from my main. I used to read posts on RR's Just Know Miel the way some people watch true crime docuseries. Equal parts fascination and smug relief that it wasn't my circus. I'd scroll, gasp, show my husband, and say, "At least our families are sane." Spoiler, I jinxed us. Background download. I'm 30, married to Mark, 32. We've been together 9 years, married 5. I work remotely as a medical coder. Mark manages a bike shop. His parents live 20 minutes away, grandmother next door to them, and the rest of their clan forms a dense orbit that you can't escape without a map or a restraining order. My parents are 2 states over, retired, low drama, and into RV travel. Mark's sister Dana is 28, married to Eric. Dana has endured 3 miscarriages in 4 years, each one later than the last. Watching her yo-yo between hope and grief shredded everyone. I sent freezer meals, flowers, goofy memes, whatever felt supportive. I never uttered phrases like, "Everything happens for a reason," because I'm not a monster. Last summer, after 8 months of negative tests and a fertility workup that came back benign, I finally saw 2 pink lines. My OB confirmed at 8 weeks that baby and SIL looked perfect. I ugly cried in the car, called Mark, and we decided to guard the secret until the 12-week scan. Nobody suspects a thing when you're sipping ginger ale at gatherings because I've always been a soda girl. At 11 weeks and 6 days, the tech printed a picture of a gummy bear-shaped bean with a heartbeat like a techno track. That night, Mark and I spread ultrasound photos across the kitchen table, grinning like idiots. We debated announcement methods, cute mugs saying "promoted to dad," a wrapped onesie, a grandparent reveal scratch-off card. Ultimately, we chose simple honesty at Sunday family dinner because surprise stunts felt tacky given Dana's situation. Dinner rolled around. Carol, my mother-in-law, served her traditional pot roast. Dana's eyes were puffy, maybe an allergy flare or an earlier crying jag. I felt a mosquito buzz of nerves, but pressed on. After plates were served, Mark tapped his glass and said, "We want to share good news." I laid my hand on my barely there bump and said, "I'm pregnant." Sound left the room. For 3 full breaths, nobody moved. Then Donna shot to her feet, chair screeching. She screamed so loud the toddler cousin burst into tears and Grandma's fork clattered. She called me an insensitive, fertile show-off, accused me of announcing just to twist a knife, of bragging over her pain, of betraying the sisterly bond she thought we had. A dinner roll flew across the table and slapped butter onto my blouse. Mark tried to steady her shoulders. She shoved him hard enough that his chair skidded back. Plates rattled as she stormed out through the patio door, sobbing and cursing us both. Everyone stared at the exit until Carol spun on me, face crimson, and hissed, "What did you expect? You should terminate." The word splintered me. I froze. She elaborated. "Dana's mental health can't handle this. End the pregnancy, try again later, be considerate." Mark's jaw dropped. My father-in-law, Harold, put a shaky hand on her arm, earning a shrug. Carol marched to the sideboard where my purse rested, rummaged like a raccoon, and produced my prescription prenatal vitamins. She pointed the bottle at my face like a weapon and hissed, "You're done with these, effective immediately. Keep swallowing them, and you're choosing pills over family." She tossed the bottle toward the trash, missing the can but scattering tablets across the hardwood. We left without dessert, silence thick between Mark and me in the car. At home, I climbed into the shower fully clothed and cried until water turned cold. Within hours, Dana blocked me on every platform. Carol began a campaign of text warfare. The first day brought Bible verses about sacrifice. The next morning, she texted statistics about children growing up unloved by jealous aunts, as though shame might sway me. By the third sunrise, she sent a graphic image torn from an anti-abortion billboard, irony completely lost on her. Each message ended with, "Do the right thing for Dana." She escalated to voicemail, email, then handwritten notes taped to our door. The notes reeked of lilac perfume and desperation. Mark confronted her by phone, telling her to apologize or lose access to us. She doubled down, insisting a real mother puts family harmony above cells. Mark blocked her too. That triggered group chat explosions from relatives who lectured me about compassion. Apparently, compassion equals sacrificing my wanted child for someone else's comfort. Pregnancy hormones and pure rage became caffeine replacements. Lying awake at night, hand on belly, I realized passivity invites further attack. I wouldn't forgive. I'd defend. And if I could craft justice that tasted like revenge, well, dessert had been skipped. I began by collecting evidence like an obsessive crow. Screenshots, voicemails saved to the cloud, photos of the lilac-scented notes, a copy of the Sunday dinner security cam footage showing Carol rifling my purse and dropping the pill bottle. The neighbor's ring cam caught the aftermath. Carol on her porch yelling about abortions to the night air. Everything went into a dated folder. Next, I consulted Lydia, my college roommate turned family lawyer. Over decaf tea, she reviewed the pile, eyebrows shooting higher each minute. She cited state statute. Interfering with prescribed medication qualifies as assault. Harassment advocating harmful medical action also fits a protective order criterion. She drafted a cease and desist and a letter warning of potential criminal charges. Then I prepared social fallout. Carol's public persona is Saint Carol, community volunteer and church social media maven. Image is her oxygen. I composed a factual document, timeline, direct quotes, photos, no commentary, just receipts. I scheduled an email blast to relatives, Carol's pastor, her book club, and her volunteer board. Subject line, concerned about recent behavior. Send time. Sunday at 5, exactly when she usually posted halo polishing selfies. Instead of attending dinner, Mark and I saw a matinee and turned off our phones. At 5, the email fired. 2 hours later, 37 voicemails, 50+ texts, frantic DMs from acquaintances I barely remembered. My favorite came from Carol's friend Pam. I never imagined Carol could be so vicious, praying for your safety. Pam included screenshots of Carol melting down in the women's ministry chat, calling me manipulative. Meanwhile, Lydia's cease and desist arrived Monday morning via certified mail. Harold texted Mark, "Can we talk before lawyers get involved?" Mark replied, "Lawyers are involved because you allowed harassment. Balls in your court." Church leadership asked Carol to step back from social media until matters resolve. Her book club voted her out for violating their kindness charter. The small-town rumor mill cranked hard. Apparently, someone spotted Carol buying boxed wine at noon. Scandalous. Donna resurfaced on Instagram with a Notes app apology, claiming she'd been triggered and begging critics to stop cyberbullying her. Comments roasted her. She disabled the account 12 hours later. While Fallout, Family Edition aired, Baby and I thrived. My OB praised my low blood pressure. I did prenatal yoga, napped with cats, and binged light sitcoms. Every kick felt like a high five from the womb. Then Carol crossed a bright red line. Despite the cease and desist, she slid a letter under our door. 4 handwritten pages pleading that I reconsider termination. She wrote, Our family cannot heal while you carry this reminder of failure," and enclosed a clinic pamphlet. The detective assigned to our report told me to forward any further contact. I did. 48 hours later, officers served Carol with an arrest warrant for violating a harassment order and for attempted medication tampering. Blue lights flashed across her hydrangeas while neighbors filmed on their phones. She spent 9 hours in holding. Bail drained the IVF fund she'd promised Dana. Relatives who once scolded me now whispered, "We're so sorry. We didn't know it was that bad." Harold called from the driveway, begging us to withdraw charges. Mark calmly said, "Your wife tried to force a medical decision on my family. She can face consequences." Click. I framed the notarized apology Carol eventually wrote as part of her plea deal. I acknowledge urging termination and tampering with prescribed medication. I apologize and will have no further contact. It hangs in the nursery above the diaper pail. Dana, cut off from Carol's funding, asked to meet for coffee. We chose a public cafe. She arrived puffy-eyed, clutching a stress ball. She apologized, said grief made her irrational, and Carol amplified it. She asked to attend future baby events. I appreciated the apology but needed zero drama. Boundaries, no unsupervised contact, no guilt trips, therapy required. She nodded, though her smile looked thin. We parted civilly. Weeks passed. Carol completed court-mandated community service at an animal shelter. Photos surfaced of her scooping litter boxes, poetic, considering her disdain for cats. Donna sent weekly therapy updates, which I skimmed while focusing on growing my daughter. Mark painted the nursery mint green. Relatives offered hand-me-downs. I declined, wanting items free of entitlement. Our anatomy scan showed a healthy girl who kicked the probe like a diva. Mark joked we should name her Karma. Not happening, but point taken. Carol's sentencing hearing arrived. The judge accepted her plea. Probation, community service, anger management, and the written apology already delivered. Courtroom spectators included half the women's ministry, pens flashing like paparazzi. After court, Carol tried to speak. Mark's attorney reminded her of no contact. She wept. I felt nothing. I wondered if revenge had turned me stone-hearted, but my therapist called it boundaries. She praised me for channeling anger into protection rather than self-destruction. Harold quietly delivered a handmade rocking horse for the nursery. No note. Silent penance accepted. Third trimester brought ankle swelling and relentless heartburn, but still peace. Carol's shelter hours were extended because she kept disappearing for phone calls. Meanwhile, the church announced a compassion-first social media policy. Subtweet much. I launched a blog about pregnancy under harassment. It gained traction. Women messaged that they'd press charges on meddling in-laws. I partnered with a nonprofit offering legal aid to pregnant women facing coercion. Mark and I donated the amount Carol spent on her lawyer retainer in Carol's name. The thank you card mailed to her house reportedly prompted another ceramic angel casualty. My friends threw a baby shower. No Carol or Dana invited. Dana texted tears. Carol allegedly smashed more figurines. Consequences, meet actions, episode 300. Shower day was glorious, full of pastel cupcakes and silly games. No drama, just joy. Later, the women's ministry president emailed me. Carol was permanently removed from leadership for conduct unbecoming. I had nothing to do with the leaked arrest video. Digital footprints are messy. Dinah completed 6 months of therapy and requested involvement again. My therapist suggested a probation-style friendship. I offered a short supervised hospital visit after birth. She agreed, sounding genuinely humbled. Carol tried one more stunt, a bound journal titled Grandma's Wisdom. Each page ending with a plea that my child, remember Grandma loves you even if Mom won't forgive. Lydia logged it as contact violation number 4. Carol spent 48 hours in county lockup and finally stopped. 39 weeks and 2 days, labor. 12 hours later, Aurora arrived. 8 pounds even, lungs like an opera singer. We texted a tight circle. Dana responded, "She's perfect." Crying happy tears. Carol remained blocked. Hospital visitors were screened. Donna arrived with a therapist note, stayed 15 minutes, asked permission before holding Aurora, then left when the baby fussed. Respect earned a tentative door crack. 2 days after we took Aurora home, a giant bouquet arrived with a card from Harold only. "Congratulations. We love you 3. Boundaries working. No Carol signature." The internet still pings about Carol's saga. A distant cousin's TikTok summary hit 60,000 views. I stopped reading after the 20th hot take. I'm busy learning to swaddle. One quiet night at 3 a.m., feeding Aurora under lamplight, I replayed everything. The dinner scream, the unlawful vitamin grab, the mugshot. Some call it family tragedy. I call it a case study in consequences. Carol could have apologized early. Donna could have stepped back. They chose escalation. I met them with equal but lawful force. Mark asked if Carol will ever meet Aurora. Only after years of sustained remorse, therapy, and zero manipulation, and when Aurora can understand boundaries. Mark nodded. He'd reached the same conclusion. A friend asked if revenge felt good. It felt righteous, not because of schadenfreude, but because I proved to myself I wouldn't crumble, modeled for my daughter that self-respect is non-negotiable, and showed women they can defend themselves smartly and legally. Revenge was simply justice wearing armor. Postpartum checkup came 6 weeks later. My doctor said stitches healed, iron levels solid, mental health excellent. She wrote strong support system in her notes. I almost laughed. Support looked different than I'd imagined. But sometimes strength is the vacuum left after you kick toxic people out. On the way home, Mark and I stopped for ice cream. While Aurora dozed, we toasted our cones to calm, to accountability, and to a future where our daughter's autonomy is never up for debate. That promise tasted sweeter than any dessert we missed that night. Stay shiny, Reddit. I'll update if Carol tries another round, but I suspect she finally learned the courthouse cafeteria doesn't serve humble pie.